This Thursday, voters in Britain are going to participate in a referendum, and they're going to vote on whether or not to stay in the EU or not, and this is being called the Brexit, the British exit. A new poll by the London newspaper, The Independent, showed that 55% of British voters are in favor of leaving the EU. How is this going to impact, if it happens, how is it going to impact investors? When Greece threatened to leave the EU, the world markets went into a tailspin. Is that going to happen all over again? I want to spend a couple of minutes with you today, just 2 or 3 minutes, and put this in perspective, because you're going to see and hear a lot of speculation about this over the coming days, and I thought it would make more sense to look at this in a rational manner. Obviously, I still can't predict the future. I tell you that every time I do a little video and every time I write anything. And if Britain leaves the EU, it won't be great for investors, but most experts generally agree that U.S. stocks, which is where most of our money is invested, could end up being a lot more attractive for investors when considered against the UK stocks or European stocks. If the referendum passes, Morgan Stanley suggests that the European markets could drop as much as 15% over the next 6 months, and that the euro could drop 11.5% over that same time period. Not only that, but this if England does leave the EU, it could trigger many other countries to become a little bit more protectionist and more nationalistic. And but if that happens, we'll probably be hurt less than most of the other countries, because our economy is much more insulated. For example, industries like retail, food, home builders, utilities, they've done really well lately, and they're really dependent on the domestic demand, not on international demand. If the Brexit vote goes forward, it could push the EU into a recession, and that could lead to another year of subpar growth, but that's really no different than what we're experiencing right now. It could lead to a longer period of lower interest rates. That's why recently Yellen did not increase interest rates. And if interest rates stay low, that will help some industries and it will hurt others. We still don't know how the vote's going to go, but that's why it's so important to remain vigilant. And that's why it's so important to remain focused in those areas that are strongest and to avoid those areas that are weakest. The bottom line is, when it comes to investing, we've got to keep our eye on the ball, basically. The bottom line is, the U.S. market isn't doing great, the U.S. economy isn't doing great, but it's probably doing stronger than most other developed countries. As I said, you're going to hear a lot about this Brexit in the next few days and the weeks following. But I just think it's important to look at this rationally, with the facts, rather than get emotional. The things that we're going to hear on radio and TV and the internet, much more speculative. Those are the facts. We don't really know, but it could actually end up to be a good thing for American investors, and that's where we're investing in American stocks right now for the most part. I'll keep you posted as always. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be delighted to talk further with you individually. Thanks.